Okay, okay. Good. Looks like we're live on Twitter. Welcome to Gamcast for very early Sunday morning. We're here this morning to talk about what is my prediction about what's going to happen on Tuesday in the election. I think my prediction is something you won't hear anywhere else, and may surprise you a little bit. So I'm going to go through and tell you what I think actually is going to happen, which is going to shock you. But I'm also going to make a prediction as to the Electoral College map and where I think it will end up. So let me get to that real quick. But let me update you on a couple stories that broke this morning. If you're in the U.S., you're probably just waking up to these. The first one is this: the Seltzer poll out of Iowa. Ann Seltzer, who has traditionally been a very good pollster, dropped a poll yesterday that said that Harris is up 47-43. On Trump. It is sort of a shock poll, but you shouldn't be surprised by that. I'm sorry. You shouldn't be surprised by that because a lot of pollsters are just cashing in and doing what they need to do at this point. I don't know how they turned her to do that, but they did. But it's all part of an op, and the op is to make Democrats who are severely depressed out there, they need some motivation to go to the polls because they still needed them to show up. Among many other reasons they need them to show up is to keep those down ballot races from flipping the House and the Senate, both of which will probably be Republican, but more so. So just to show that I'm not making this up, here's another poll that came out recently that shows Harris up 1 in Utah. Folks, Utah is not going to vote for Harris. No chance. Now, I understand they're bearing it by giving the Trump a 50-41 if you add in the Libertarian, but that's not going to happen. That pollster, as you can say here, is an Alex Soros pollster. These people are just lying. One of the things you get by following my feed and listening to these videos is my podcasts are almost all conservative or libertarian or populist, but my Twitter feed is 99% left-wing. I consume about 50-50, maybe even a little bit more left-wing, and I can tell you you're seeing this everywhere they are. They are lying to their people everywhere, and every sign points to things going well for Trump. I'll give you one more example and then move on to the prediction. The other example is you hear everywhere, yeah, the turnout data is great for Republicans. Yeah, the turnout data is great for Republicans, but women are turning out in greater numbers. Well, that's true, but I've looked into it, and that's true, but they're turning out in lesser, greater numbers than they did in 2020. Now, they could just be honest about that and say, hey, but they don't, and they don't ever tell you the other part of it. One last thing that tells me that they're in trouble is last night Kamala had a rally scheduled in Michigan. She skipped it to go on SNL. You'll probably see the skit. It's been out there. It's awful. But I just don't understand how if you're winning or you're close, you skip on a rally to go to Saturday Night Live where you're going to be talking to your own audience. I just don't get it. So who knows? Now let's get to what I think is going to happen. This is 270 to win. You can pull up an Electoral College map anywhere you want. They're all over the place. I like 270 to win. If you go there, this is the default setting. It is 226 in the bag for Kamala, 219 in the bag for Trump. Everything I've seen, all the polling I've seen, nobody differs on this. Trump is going to win the Sun Belt. He's going to win Arizona. He's going to win Georgia. He's going to win North Carolina. If that happens, he's at 262. He needs 8 Electoral College votes to win. Everybody says he's up in Nevada. The early vote says he's up in Nevada. People say he's hanging tight, doing well in Pennsylvania, also Michigan. But the latest thing I saw from Halpern's group, two-way the other day, was the inside scoop is there's no chance she has in Wisconsin. She's basically pulled out. Let's give her Wisconsin. That's 272. Now, Trump, at that point, he doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't have to pull Nevada. He doesn't have to pull Michigan. He doesn't have to pull Pennsylvania. I think he'll pull all 3. Those 3 always vote together. The Rust Belt will vote as all together. I also think, based on what I'm seeing, is you're going to see some surprises. Trump could also pull Minnesota. He also could pull New Hampshire. I don't know about Virginia, but who knows? Maybe. We'll see. Doesn't matter. He's going to have 272. Here's the problem he's going to have, and this is where I've left you for. You're going to see this anywhere but here. And this is my prediction what's going to happen. On election night, Trump will be winning. He'll be winning a few days later. And that's when they get to later, they're going to start every challenge in the book. And here's Jamie Raskin, the Rascal Raskin. He always comes out. He's the one that is the point man for this. He's on Bill Maher a couple days ago saying this.
When I say we will support a free and fair election, no, we're not going to allow them to steal it in the states or steal it at the Department of Justice or steal it with any other election.
How could Trump steal it in the Department of Justice when Biden and Harris run the Department of Justice? That's pure projection. I mean, 1,000% projection. But he continues.
In the country, if it's a free and fair election, we will do what we've always done. We will honor it.
So if it's free and fair, we'll honor it. We control the swing states. All three Rust Belt swing states they control. How could it possibly be anything but honorable but Trump wins? This is what I predict they're going to do. They're going to use the Electoral Count Act of 1887, just like Trump tried to do. They're going to do the exact playbook. Now, it's not going to matter. They're still going to certify. Trump's still going to win. But by going to the Electoral College on January 6th, just like Trump did, there won't be any raiding of the Capitol so that they call it off. They'll let them do it this time. They'll object to several of the states for whatever reason. Jamie Raskin himself has said he's going to object based on Trump not being taken off the ballot, based on his phony Section 3 14th Amendment argument. It doesn't matter what they come up with. Here's my point. What they're going to do is they're going to object and object and object, and we're going to do the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, all the way to January 20th. And at that point, guess what happens under the Constitution? It kicks to the House. It'll be kicked to the House that's sworn in on January 3rd. Not this House, not Mike Johnson, but the new one that comes in on January 3rd. Doesn't matter who it is. Don't believe anybody. This is the truth. Republicans will control more House delegations on January 3rd, 2025 than anybody. The reason? Because Illinois, New York, California send tons of people, which gives them a pretty close or maybe a majority or slight minority. But if you go state by state, when the House votes for president, one state, one vote. That's it. 50 states, they each get one vote. So California, no matter how big you are, you got one vote. Trump will easily win in the House, and it will be the last vestige that they ever do against Trump. They're going to be so petty. They're going to be shocked they lose as badly as they lose, but they're going to go into this mode and make sure he only gets elected through the House so that they can spend the next 4 years claiming he's somehow an illegitimate president. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you do, you will see me on the next one.